Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm AndyRC and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Radiomaster Zorro. It comes in this nicely sealed box and this is the Mode 1 version, the correct mode. Of course, that's not true. If you are new to the hobby, then go for Mode 2. But Radiomaster goes the extra mile, and I actually think that you can convert the mode anyways without taking the thing apart. But let's see what's inside this box. So, looks like we have got the radio in some plastic molding. Is there anything else in the box? Yeah, so we have got a quick start guide, but you know, I'm male, so I shall discard this. Let's lift the top of that. Oh, it looks like we've got some stuff underneath here, and we've got some stuff there, but let's take a look at the radio. And there's something under here as well. So this is a blanking plate for an antenna. So there are various different versions of this. There is the version that's got the CC2500 chip in there, which I think is FR Sky and also Futaba. Then we've got the 4-in-1, which you know, Radiomaster and companies like Jumper are known for, so built inside. Then we've got ELRS, which is this one here. ELRS is just taking over. It's just superb. It's a little bit fiddly for beginners, but I can see one day where everything is ELRS. We've got an ELRS starter set, so that comes with receivers. Then we have got here one with the FR Sky chip in there, but also the Nano Crossfire combo. Now you might be wondering, why so many versions? Well, actually, it's price. So why would you go for this version? Well, it is $79. So if you only fly FR Sky or Futaba, then you know this is going to be a compact solution and a cheaper version for you. You can also put a module on the back if you want to use a 4-in-1 or anything else. Now the 4-in-1 is $99, let's call it $100, and ELRS is the 2.4 GHz ELRS is also $99 as well. The ELRS starter set is $139.99, and looks like that comes with two of the mini receivers here. And then you might be confused about this one, the TBS version, but actually I believe Team Black Sheep and Radiomaster are on the same page, because you know, when FR Sky were doing all of their nonsense, I think TBS actually sold Radiomasters or Jumpers anyways, and so this is an alternative, you know, because a lot of the transmitters, it's all about feel, you know, as well as price, of course, but that's why there are the different versions. Now, full disclaimer here, I've been flying for 30 odd years. I can't even count. I don't get on too well with these little style controllers. My thumbs are too shaky, and I prefer the bigger resolution of, like, say, the TX16S. That being said, I really like Radiomaster as a company, and I understand this form factor because a lot of people are coming from the gaming community, and these are game style controllers. Not only that, you know, if you like the smaller form factor, it's a smaller thing to carry, especially if you are doing micros and stuff like that, so I completely understand it. Now, as for the quality of the item, feels top quality. We have got a metal scroll bar there. As you can see, this is the Mode 1 version. The gimbals, they're Hall gimbals, but there are going to be some upgraded gimbals coming out for this, which will also fit the TX12 as well, so look out for that. The only thing so far, you know, this is kind of like me just unboxing it and looking at it, is that I like the big screen, but it kind of looks like it was designed in the 1980s. Like, you know, we've got very sharp angles there, but you know, that's just an aesthetic thing. So let's take a look at some of the switches and stuff. So these switches remind me of the X-Lite. I really like them rather than the, you know, the push button type ones, momentary ones, even though they are small. So we've got a 3-position switch there. We have got 2-position switch there. Very confusing potentiometer here, trying to figure out what you would use that for. You know, maybe as a plane pilot, but there's no center indent and no center indent there. And as I'm holding this as a thumber, my fingers are touching those, but you know, if you're flying it with a quad, you know, it doesn't really matter. Then we have got a momentary push button here, momentary push button here, another 2-position switch, and 3-position switch there. Now, I really like this because in the past, radios, regardless of the size, seem to only have like one 2-position switch. So I'm really glad that this has got 2 there, and they are nice and reachable for arming, pre-arming, and all of that goodness. We've got proper trims here for fixed wing, so you know, that's one of the other things about these smaller radios, is that usually the trim buttons are missing, so it's difficult to fly fixed wing with them. So under here we have got, it seems to come with a micro SD card. It comes pre-flash with Edge TX. We've got audio here and DSC here, so for your trainer or simulator, if you want to use it like that. Sadly, no wireless trainer in this. I know it's like a niche thing, but for the wireless head tracking that I do on the channel, my opinion is all transmitters should have them. So on the back here, 2 more momentary buttons, which actually sit quite nicely on the middle finger. And then we have got the module for the light modules, so you can stick anything you want in there. And we've also got a blanking plate for that as well. So which one is best for you depends on how you fly. For example, if you mainly fly a 2.4 gigahertz ELRS, then the ELRS is the one to get, because it's going to make it more lightweight. But if you fly, you know, FrSky and stuff like that, you know, or you want the multi-module 4-in-1 and you aren't using ELRS, then the 4-in-1 would be better, because you know, each time you want to change something on that version, you would have to add one of the modules on the back. So I'm really liking ELRS at the moment. So this is the ELRS version. But yeah, go on the website and you can choose which one you're interested in, if you are indeed interested in it at all. Now, one surprising thing is the batteries. This is quite a disappointment. It doesn't ship with batteries. They are the smaller batteries, the 18350 batteries, and of course we all know 18650 is readily available, easy to get hold of. So the fact that this one here requires these not only means that, you know, it's more difficult to get hold of, but your battery life isn't going to be as long. Is that on properly there? No, that's not on properly. There we go. We have to properly click it in. There we go. So they've done something again a bit surprising with this chap, and that is the option to add a bigger battery. Now, why they just didn't extend these down so that you could have 18650 batteries in there, I don't know. Maybe it was something to do with the fact that it balances perfectly like that, and if you have a heavier battery down here, then it wouldn't do so. But I tend to find with light radios that I'm not using a lanyard anyways, so yeah, interesting choice. So what they have done is, if we look under here, we've got a USB port here, and we've also got what looks like a balance connector. And if we go in here, what we should have is, this is the opposite end of the balance connector, and if you look, we've got an XT30 on there, and there is something on here. It says, you know, use a 2S LiPo only, otherwise bad things will happen, and that goes into there, and then you can have, I don't know, maybe a battery in your pocket. The other thing that you get is this here, which once this is plugged in, this then slides into place in these slots here, and that acts as a kind of protector for this, so that, you know, you know, if it doesn't get ripped out, basically. It stays in place. That's what that's for. However, that is not the only function of these either, because somewhere, let's have a look, see if it's in here, we have got a USB Type-C connector. I always like to see that. We got Velcro straps, and the idea is that you can use the Velcro strap to strap a 2S battery at the bottom there to get more battery life out of it, which I'm never going to do. Why would you want to make your transmitter heavier? No idea, but there you go. That's the solution that they have come up with. Or you know, you can directly power it off USB if you wish to do so. It's also quick charge. I think it's a quick charge 3 that it supports, so it will balance charge the batteries that are in there. You'll get about an hour and a half out of these batteries, which this time of the year, in February, it's freezing. Not really going to be flying for much longer than that. For me, it's more about the accessibility of being able to obtain those batteries. By the way, on the website, you actually can buy those exact batteries. So if we go over here to accessories, you can see actually that we've got the batteries, actually got a case for it already, and I guess well, it says here that that's an accessory, so I don't know, maybe as a reviewer, that's, you know, maybe I've received that one. We've got a receiver here that uses the, you know, sort of Immortal T-style antenna, and then here with the nano tiny antenna. There is one more thing in the package, and it's a screen protector for the screen. Now, the screen it's always going to be like something that, you know, divides people. Me personally, I'd have preferred a smaller screen like on the jumper, and that is just purely because when I'm flying, I'm not looking at the screen at all, and when I am looking at the screen, it's usually when I'm inside, and I don't have the best eyesight, but even the small screens I can still read. But there you go, they went for the bigger screen there, which also has got the antenna built into it, and it can move in various different ways. Actually feels a little bit loose actually, but if you are using ELRS, which I'm going to be doing with this one, then, you know, probably best just to keep the antenna like that, because we have got lots of range anyways. Something else that we've got on here is we've got these holes here that don't do anything. They are for modification. These things here, they, as I'm sort of, it's probably because I'm holding it, but they seem to come off quite easy. Yeah, so these are for like add-ons, whether it's going to be add-ons from Radiomaster, or if you want to 3D print something yourself, that's what these two screws are for, and that is it. On the front of the gimbal you can see two screws here, and that is for adjusting the travel. So if you want less travel, then you can adjust those, which is great, and you can also adjust the sticks as well, so adjust the height and all that goodness. Then on the back we've got various screws for different things, so we can adjust the spring tension with this one here and also this one here, and then we can change the self-centering throttle, in other words switching from mode 1 to mode 2 with this one here or this one there. So let's switch it on and see if it actually works. The screen's really bright, so it's a long press to turn it on.
Welcome to HTX.
Might have to turn off my light so you can see the screen. But first of all, let's talk about the buttons. Very similar setup to the TX16S. So we've got system there. So if we press that, I'll just turn this light off here, and if I press system, it might take a while for the camera to adjust. There you can see we've got our Lewis scripts for crossfire and stuff like that. And then the camera's not going to look great because I've turned the light off, but we can page over, you know, all our usual things. This is Edge TX, but very similar, or if not, you know, almost the same as OpenTX. It's just that the progress of OpenTX has slowed down and Edge TX has taken over. That is that's just how things go in this hobby. So then what we have got, I have to be a master here at turning the lights on and off. So we've got the page, but this time it's forward and back. Some of the FR Sky transmitters, it was like a long press of the page and that'd take you back. We've got forward and back on here, and return, model over here, and telemetry here. And so we want to do return here, and that'll take us back to the main screen. If I press the telemetry one, so no data obviously because I've not bound it to anything yet, but it's got the voltage of the transmitter. If I go ahead and press the return button, that'll take us back to the main page. Then the model button, you have to long press. Actually already got some models in there, and yeah, you can use the scroll wheel there, which also presses in as well to select. So if I return and then press page, I've got all of our usual goodness of OpenTX, but in EdgeTX. So there you go. Very capable transmitter. As I say, things that just stand out for me as negatives are the battery, the shape, really, of the screen, like I say, but you know, that's a taste kind of thing, isn't it? It's more of a personal thing. You could hear that it got audio on there. That is because it does have sounds on there. The material that it's made out of, at first I thought it was soft touch plastic, which I was like, oh no, because what happens with soft touch is after about a year, 2 years, it starts to get really sticky. I don't think it's not that type of material. However, this I think it's rubber. I seem to be having trouble here keeping these on. We'll have to see if that becomes a problem when I fly with it. Something else that's really important with this radio, specifically when it comes to the ELRS version, is that Radiomaster has worked closely with the ELRS devs, where I believe, I'm told anyways, that Jumper didn't at all with their version, so that is something to take note of. Now you might be wondering, why didn't they do an 868 or 900 megahertz ExpressLRS version? And I think it's because the 2.4 gigahertz ExpressLRS is much more popular just because it's got amazing range, but the antennas are tiny. I mean, even those, you know, those really sort of surface mounted ones can get you really good range. However, if you do want to do 868 ELRS, then of course you can just add a module on the back and do that. So all is not lost. Alrighty, let's give this puppy a try. Straight away, with it being a smaller controller, I've got my stock rates in here, but I'm finding it really twitchy because the stick travel is not as far as my usual radio. But you know what? I think I could get very used to that. The sun's come out! The seagull doesn't like what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, you see how I'm not overcorrecting, but going too far on the roll, because my muscle memory is saying to turn the stick this much, and it don't want to. So a problem that I've been having while handling the transmitter is that the battery clips do keep falling off. So if you are heavy-handed like me, with also big hands and thumbs, ladies, then I could see that being a problem. I think it's definitely something that needs to be looked at by Radiomaster. Oh, and also the stick tension. I did it on the throttle because it was a little bit loose for my liking, and it only seems to work at the bottom section of the throttle down here. I guess it's the design of how the clamp is sort of putting pressure down on the gimbal, and when you tighten it up, it tightens the bottom of the throttle up more than the top. But it's such a cheap radio, you know, I think I have to forgive it. I'm a very picky person, you see. But yeah. The sun, it's sort of showing its head every now and then. Sorry if my voice is a bit coarse, you know, still COVID and all of that. Some days you wake up, it's fine, and then other days you're like, have I got COVID again? Anyways, enough about COVID. Oh, the antenna on the top as well, it looks like, you know, the one that's got the blanking plate. It looks like you have to sort of, you know, that's for modding your own antenna, because I can't see anything that it screws into. It's just a hole. Oh, very nice quadcopter, this one. Be reviewing this separately. It's the, is it called the X-Night 35, something like that, by Beta FPV. Yes, 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 mode 1 looks weird. I know, it looks weird. And yes, 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 I'm shaky. I know I'm shaky. Guess in the comments. But, you know, for the price, man, it's alright, you know, it's alright. These battery grips are staying on. And it's freezing cold out here. My flying looks dreadful because, yeah, it feels like I need to dial my rates down. I always find that with these little tiny transmitters because of the less stick throw. Well, there you go. You don't get that on your other channels, do you? I'll put a link in the video description as well as a pinned comment if you wish to get one. Hopefully I've done enough so that you can decide which one you want to get. I'm using the DGR system, so sadly you can't see like the RSSI, which is, it's sitting at around about 60. Of course, we kind of use like link quality these days, as well as RSSI. I don't think you can do that with the DJI system, so I'm just seeing it in the RSSI value. But I don't think range will be a problem. Right, anyways, that's almost my battery. So I'll come in for a landing. I hope you enjoyed this video and review. Support me on Patreon if you can afford to do so, because, well, it's the only source of income, and I thank all of you that have supported me. Right, okay, let's come in for a landing. So, and as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.